Hello guys, Elven Warrior here, welcome to today's video. So today I have got another ultimate guide for you on the Tomb Kings. So what's going to happen is I'm just going to talk over all the basics, so whether you're a new player or whether you're just an experienced one, just to try and see if there's anything that you've missed. Hopefully I cover something that you learn something new, so that's the aim of these videos, so that'll be good. If you've not done so already, guys, please hit that subscribe button. It'll be really much appreciated. You'll be helping the channel to grow, and you want to stay up to date with the latest videos that I release as well. You don't want to miss out on those, guys. And please feel free to leave a like and a comment. They really do help, guys. I'll really appreciate the feedback. Okay, so let's get on into it. So if I bring up Khemri, we're just going to start with the absolute basics here. So growth. You've just got to gain like the growth through certain like it'll naturally have growth, but also you can do extra buildings which help with it, like that extra 25 growth, and as you go on, just to get it quicker, and also build towards population surplus so you can upgrade your main settlements. The next section is tax. So basically, obviously you want to make money, so because you want to build stuff, so you need to tax a province, but also it comes with public order issues. So if it came to it, you needed to not tax it, like public order was too bad, you needed to do that, but even still, public order is bad, you got no chance. But this is on the higher difficulties anyway, so yeah, you can toggle it on and off, but obviously if you do, you'll miss out on money. Corruption, you can get like obviously all those 4 different corruptions there: chaos, vampiric, and skaven. If one corruption if one of the other corruptions get too high, you start suffering from attrition in your own lands and stuff like that. So obviously try and make sure that you maintain your faction's favoured corruption. Province effects. So what you have here is basically, this is for every faction. Basically, if the public order gets too out of control or too good, basically you can get like certain buffs and debuffs. If it goes positive, you get like buffs to growth and stuff like that, but then you get a like debuff to public order because they're trying to keep you balanced. And then same with the negative, you get like negative buffs, but then you get a positive public order. Again, they're trying to keep it balanced. Okay, so because it's untainted, any undead army that wanders through your lands will start to suffer attrition. So this button here is your overview button. So this just gives you an overview of your settlement or province, if you had the full one. So it just quickly, you can just like choose something to build and stuff like that. You can just quickly do it from there. The next button is the garrison details. So it shows you exactly what garrison is inside defending this settlement. So you can just, if you just hover over it, you can just see exactly what's exactly the condition of what the garrison is. They're all at full strength and what the stats are. Next button is the building browser. So this is more in depth. You can like plan out your settlement in advance and stuff like that. So it's really handy to do, really handy to know. The next button is recruit lord. So this is where you can choose from your different lords. Also, like I know as Tomb Kings, but as other races, you can get like the legendary lord tab there if he's wounded, so you'll be able to recruit him from there. The next button is the recruit heroes. So once you've unlocked the capacity, you're able to just recruit from here. But as Tomb Kings, and this is for all of them, there's no cost to actually recruiting them. Same with any of the their units. There's no cost. They just have restrictions on the capacity. Okay, so up here we have the Treasury. So this is how much we have in the Treasury, and this is how much we're bringing in. Tomb Kings do not make a lot of money, so yeah, you've got to be careful with that. I know you don't pay out for your armies, but you need to build stuff. So if you click the button, it brings up this, and it just shows you a complete summary of what's there. And if you clicked on details, it just goes into even more, every little thing of where it goes. If you had trade agreements, if you click that, which obviously I can't because I don't have any trade, you can view what the each item is worth and stuff like that, who you're trading with, how much that agreement's worth, and so on, and whatnot. So there's this thing here, Canopic Jars. So basically, as the Tomb Kings, you gain Canopic Jars just by simple things of like through a character's skill tree, which I'll now just demonstrate. So this Canopic Jar Hoarder, so it's probably not great to do it on Cetra, but there is ways to cheese it. Basically, once you, there's a rite, I'll just show you quickly. There's this right here, recruit rank +3, faction wide. And if you basically get them to like recruit them from rank 4 or 5 or something, because you need 1 point into there, 2, 3, 4, so probably rank 5 they need to be, and you can just do that into there and just go through your lords and just recruit each one and put that in them, and as they're there, they're just, you know, gradually producing them for you in the background. And also there's other avenues of like by raising settlements and stuff like that, and by doing missions you can gain Canopic Jars as well. That's another way to do it. Okay, so this button down here is objectives. So as you can see, this button here is the long campaign victory. So this shows you all the requirements to achieve this long to achieve that victory. This button here is for short campaign victory. Again, here's the requirements for that. This next button is chapter objectives. So you'll get everything, you know, you'll get these throughout the game, and basically it's designed to help you just naturally go through the game. You'll get these, so it's not like it's going to be something you have to go out your way for. So yeah, you get this, you get 1,000 for doing this, but you have bonus objectives. So you get 500 reward for that. Get access to that, 500 there, and stuff like that. Some of these are a bit more difficult, especially for the Tomb Kings anyway. So some of these bonus objectives are probably not that achievable before you've done this. So yeah, but generally they are good to try and get, especially if they're easy anyway, because it's just extra money, and money's a hard thing to come by Tomb Kings. The next button is diplomacy. So this is where you get to like interact with all the other factions diplomatically, declare war, make agreements, forge alliances, and get trade and stuff like that. But beware over here, you need to try and maintain this very high reliability. As soon as you go to like very low, people who don't like you or either on the verge of not liking you, they will declare war for no absolute reason. Even if they're near you or not, they'll just declare war. So just try and maintain it as high as possible, because as soon as you get to very low, it's just like nigh on impossible to do diplomacy. So unless they come to you, which will be very rare, you won't be able to like, you know, start any diplomacy. Okay, so it's called Dynasties, but this is your research, okay? So this is where the Tomb Kings are different. So they're so restricted, but they're such a good faction to play as well, because it's a challenge, right? So you can only start off with one army, but what you do, each one of these unlocks an army capacity, but at the same time, as soon as you complete it, it has a negative effect, minus 30% research rate. Okay, so so each time you do it, this goes down and these get longer. So yeah, it's designed to like kind of slow you down as well. But then once you've unlocked it, so let's just say you do this, once this is completed, you unlock all of this here. So you unlock, you do this, you spend 200 Canopic Jars, you unlock this Lord, and he will go to the recruitment pool. And then, as you can see there, that's his Lord traits. That's what he brings to the table. Down here, you get this. Once you do this, you get this, like, you know, globally, which will be good. And then also, each one of these, all of these increases your capacity for each of the 3 heroes. And then these ones are for specific units. So obviously take your time, go through them, decide what kind of route you're going to go down. Also, you want to see like which ones of these are like viable for you, what do you need, you know, what's most important campaign movement range, growth, extra public order. He provides construction time reduction by quite significantly. That's really good. He provides extra public order all provinces. You know what I mean? There's loads of good stuff in here that you can, like, you know, you can choose from. So on this matter as well of the research rate going down because of this, there is ways to counteract it, right? So, and luckily 2 of them are quite close to you, so you're not going to be able to do it straight away, but over time there's ways to counteract it. So the closest one is over here. Rapans starts over here. Every time you defeat Rapans with a different lord, let me rephrase that. The trait for defeating Rapans is plus 5% research rate, right? Doesn't sound a lot, but if it's like 5 or 10%, I can't remember which, but it's like that. I think it is 5%. But, you know, if you keep defeating her, keep her alive, use her as sack city, but make sure you leave this settlement over here as her remaining settlement to sack, because if you do it at any other place, she will not be recruited, because she needs a cavalry building to be recruited from, which is bizarre, and she can do it from here. So make sure you leave her with that. The second person, right? You can, I think it might be 10%, okay? I can't remember. The second person you can farm for research rate is Ikit Claw, alright? So, I can't remember, it's either 20% or 25%, or something like that. It's a lot bigger for Ikit Claw. If you defeat him, if you manage to get both of them, I believe it was like, I can't remember. I swore it worked out to be about 30% by doing that, and basically that counteracts that. So if you were able to get one lord to defeat both, they pretty much counteract that. So it'll remain at that, and the increase doesn't go so bad. So if you're using it as a sack city every 5 turns, you get like one lord to do that. You get another lord to do this down here, and then swap them. And you know what? They go to the recruitment pool, and you just keep doing that. You're gonna constantly build up your research rate. That would be really, really good. So okay, right, we spent enough time on that. So let's move on to the next one. So rights, okay. So this is going back to this right that I mentioned briefly before. This is such a fantastic right to get, but it costs a bomb. The Casket of Souls is such an amazing piece of artillery. So yeah, as you can see, it costs 5,000 gold to do. It's available for 5 turns, and it has a cooldown of 15 turns. But it has a requirement first. Each one has a requirement before you can perform it, as well as obviously needing gold. So once you've met that requirement, you can then, as many times as you want, perform the rite, obviously after the cooldown. Next button is the Mortuary Cult. So what you can do, once you've gained enough of the requirements, so for army capacity, you can then awaken a new dynasty, which gives you extra capacity. And this is where you'll get the regiments of renown from as well, some of them. And then also you can craft weapons, you can craft armor, enchanted items, talismans, and arcane items. So yeah, and so on. There's obviously, the further down it goes, obviously the better the item is. So it requires Canopic Jars and resources to be able to craft the items. So you don't have to necessarily own the items, you just have to have access to them. So I believe trade agreements should be good enough. So as long as you've got a trade agreement with someone who has this and you're importing it in, you will be able to have access to it, I believe. Okay, so as you can see, we've got the mini map here, so you can zoom in and out, you can scroll about, but it shows you basically just where you've discovered, and basically you can hover over and it tells you who owns what. So that's really handy to have. This button here is the missions and quests. So basically what you'll get there is, as it says, missions and quests. Any like for Cetra's like special items, you'll get like missions and quests to be able to do them, and then quest battles. So stuff like that. Next one is events. So anything that happens like over the end turns and stuff like that will pop up here, and it'll just like make you aware of it and stuff like that. And yeah, it's just really handy to know. It just tells you all sorts of stuff. Lords and heroes. So basically any lords and heroes will appear here that are active, and even lords that are disbanded, they will appear there as well, but they'll just be greyed out, as they're not like, you know, they're not dead. They'll just be in your recruitment pool because you'll be able to recruit them again. But unfortunately for heroes, if you disband them, you kill them, unfortunately. So if you've got a trait you want, don't disband them because you'll lose it, and you'll have to wait for that trait to come around again. Next one, provinces. So as you can see, we've got a contested province here, so that's why the symbol's like that. It tells you the income, public order state, and also you can see the other ones that you've discovered. So once you complete this, as you can see, it'll have your faction symbol instead of that. So it'll be a completed province. So that's about it. Known factions, that's this button here. And basically this is just a small, simplified, quicker version of the diplomacy. You can see all the factions that you've met, and obviously you can just quickly do dealings with them here, see where they are, see the strength ranking, their opinion of you, whether you're at war, and whether you can trade or not. This button here is the faction summary. So let's click that. It takes you to this screen. It tells you details of the capital, where it is, provinces owned, settlements owned, treasury, and this is his faction effects. So basically he has plus 10 growth, all provinces, public order +2 all provinces, and construction time -1 for province and settlement capital buildings. So that's really, he's by far one of the best like legendary lords for Tomb Kings. And also all the suitable climates available, basically the ones that you can habit okay without penalty, the ones that you can habit with slight penalty, and then settlements that you can settle that takes a major penalty. And then over here you have faction power, how many armies you've got, how many capacity for heroes you've got, and also just an overview of diplomacy here, who your allies are, who you're at war with, and who you're trading with. Press this button here, you can view your records. So over a period of time you can go back and just gradually see like what's happened, who's expanded where and stuff, and so forth. And statistics, it just shows you everything that has happened basically in great detail. So onto faction mechanics. So the Tomb Kings have this as a faction mechanic. So there's the Books of Nagash. I bet you thought I was going to leave it, didn't you? Miss it. So the Books of Nagash. So what you do, you just go around and basically there's 8 different books, and they all have different rewards, and also there's a different mission requirement. It's mainly to defeat an army. So as you can see there, that's defeat an army. That's occupy the settlement. Occupy settlement. That's defeat army. Occupy settlement. Settlement. That's army. And again army. So once you've collected them, you'll gain all these. As you collect each one, you gain the rewards and everything, the stuff that goes along with it. And that's pretty much the same for all the other Tomb King factions. So we'll move on to them now, but we'll just do the faction summaries because there's nothing else different really. There's one that's slightly different, but I'll talk about that, which will be next. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so here are the followers of Nagash. So this is the other faction I was telling you about that is slightly different. They also start off with one of the Books of Nagash, so that's helpful. So his faction mechanic, he enables recruitment of certain vampire count units. Diplomatic relations -50 with Tomb Kings. Diplomatic relations +20 with vampire counts. Winds of Magic Power Reserve +10 all armies, that's good. Public Order up to +20 based on percentage of vampiric corruption present. So yeah, as you can see, he has access to like Fellbats, Crypt Ghouls. He has this here, which let's see what else he can build from it. So Crypt Ghouls, Direwolves, Fellbats, and Hex Wraiths. So he has a small selection of Vampire Count units there. So that's what kind of stands him aside, really, from the other Tomb Kings. So apart from that, he just plays exactly the same. So okay, so let's move on to the next faction. So now onto the Exiles of Nehek under the Grand Hierophant Ketept. So his faction summary is suitable climate mountain. He gets 2 Canopic Jars per turn, automatically generated straight away. Diplomatic relations -40 with Dark Elves. Campaign movement range +5% all armies. Casualty replenishment rate +10% all armies. That's pretty good considering they don't really get much replenishment as well. So that, yeah, that's very useful. You start off up around their Dark Elves anyway. So yeah, so let's move on to the next faction then and talk about that briefly. So the final faction, Court of Lybaras with High Queen Khalida. Okay, so her faction summary is suitable climate jungle, diplomatic relations +20 with Tomb Kings, and ammunition +20 all armies. So that's not too bad. So especially as like for missile focus, like especially on legendary, you would definitely want to go either monster or missile focus, like the Khemri War Sphinx. Yeah, that's really good to have. So yeah, apart from that's pretty much all the Tomb Kings now, and there's nothing extra really I can add on that because, like I said, they're just all the same. The faction mechanics are exactly the same, so there's no point in going over it again. I hope this video has been useful to you guys. Please let me know in the comments, and also shove a like on the video. These things will really help me out. If you've not done so already, guys, please hit that subscribe button. You know, it'll be very much appreciated, and you'll be helping the channel to grow. And most importantly, you'll be kept informed of obviously when new videos come out, right? So you get to keep up to date with all the latest videos I release, and you don't want to be doing that, guys. You don't want to be missing anything. Alright, thank you guys for watching the video, and you know, hope it's been helpful, hope it's been useful, and I'll see you all for the next video.